Welcome to Sudoku. It's the final part of our 999 playthrough, and we're playing fucking Sudoku.
Hello, welcome to part 2 of our Brain Age playthrough. Today we're going to be working on spatial cognition. But no, for reals, here it is. We're at the end, the final puzzle. And yeah, it's Sudoku, but this scene was very emotional for me the first time I played it. You have the best track in the game. This was the track that as soon as I finished playing the game, I actually went online to look. I was like, holy shit, what was that song? Because I didn't want to look it up while I was playing. Like, I was literally just that engrossed just with the moment here where, you know, Jun Akane is in trouble and this is our way to save her. This is what all of this has been for. It has come to this point to be the one Junpei out of the infinite Junpeis that works with Akane to solve this final Sudoku puzzle. And regardless of what your actual mathematical abilities or even just basic logic thought process are on the difficulty of Sudoku, regardless of that, I think this is kind of just a really beautiful scene. And oh man, emotions, it got me hooked on this whole series. Definitely,
it's definitely one of, if not the most emotional moment in the entire series.
Oh yeah, no, because they super try in the other games to get this close, and it's not to discredit. Kotaro has, I love Kotaro's writing, regardless of what the actual quality. But no, I love his writing. But yeah, it's never gotten to this point where, you know, with tears coming down her eyes, a poor, scared child pulls an answer out of a complete and total time gambit. It's like, it definitely kind of gives Akane's character a little leeway in some of her more, you know, malicious. I don't even say malicious. Yeah, she always sees the greater good. She's done stuff. She's seen things. She had to go through all those traumatic endings along with us. And as a small child, you know, seeing a bunch of people just murder each other senselessly, and then when we find out it was all for this, so the mastermind did all of it for this.
Yeah, I have really just honestly nothing to say. I'm just, again, when I went through this, I was just confused and had no idea what was going on.
Oh, same. Yeah. I didn't really quite fully understand the twist. I just knew that I'm in danger, she's in danger. We're gonna, with the power of ultimate friendship.
Yes, and I'm so thankful that they, first off, well, actually no, the only thing I hope they had, it's a good thing they did not time this. If they had done that, I don't think it would have been as good as it is, because first, it just adds unnecessary tension to this already very tense-filled scene, which, again, isn't really even that tense. It's just emotional. Most people who cry at scenes like this would cry right now instead of just feeling the pain inside that of like, oh fuck, if I don't do this in time, she's gonna burn to death.
See, I feel like if this had been, I'm just thinking how Yoko Taro would probably do a scene like this where it would be timed, but every time the timer ran out, you just see a Junpei burn, and then you just pull up another one, and you just get another like 10 minutes. So, you know, it's technically infinite, but you're timed on how many timelines of June don't get the answer in time. That would be the sickest twist if you wanted to get real emotional with gamers.
Yeah, but really, in all honesty, the final puzzle is, again, it's Sudoku, so it all depends on whether or not you like to solve Sudoku puzzles. If you do, good for you. If you don't, sorry. But I would say the emotional resonance that anyone. Honestly, if you don't feel at least something here, then I'm sorry, you're just a heartless human being, and I don't ever want to speak with you. Don't talk to me or my small child who's about to die in a fire ever again. But yeah, I say the emotions that one would feel during this is more than enough to compensate for the general.
And just to be fair, like infinite timelines. So you solve it at the right time, okay? Because there's some poor Junpeis out there that just didn't quite know how to do Sudoku. You know, he was just a little less enthusiastic about math class. So now, she doesn't have to burn. She doesn't have this horrific incident that she has to transmit possibly to her brother.
Yeah, instead she's doing it with Junpei, which would indicate that he's possibly a receiver, but
To be fair, there's not too much we really know about the morphogenetic field, so the whole transmitter-receiver theory, that might actually not be accurate. Maybe because what happens in the actual games contradicts it, so it's probably just a flawed understanding of the reality that you experience through the game. Like, essentially what actually happens is better evidence than outdated science.
And we have to keep in mind that despite what's going on here, the possible explanation for it is based on pseudoscience, based on flawed research that even the game recognizes as flawed research. And even though they used this within the experiment in here and in the Nonary game 9 years ago, they were all for completely different purposes. It wasn't to research this morphogenetic field that may or may not actually exist, may or may not explain these circumstances. They were for completely different reasons. So, again, it's very, very unconfirmed exactly what is going on, but it's something that
I'm always really bad with those Kotaru twists. Like, I figure them out 5 minutes after the fact. It's like, oh, that's what that was. Like, I have a very delayed reaction, so I think that's what helps me really, really dig this ending, because I'm just blown with every single twist, because I wasn't expecting anything. Like, I thought I had it kind of figured out, and then they threw the whole Akane getting kidnapped. I was like, what? And then Akane being dead, and I had no idea what was going on. So I was like, you know what, game? You tell me. Kotaru, take the wheel. Lead me to infinite time sadness and then redemption.
So well done, too. It's just, it's brilliant. Like, nothing short of brilliant. Like what they do here.
And here's, like, even this twist, I didn't really quite understand the 9, because, I had completely forgotten that they had done the whole, what was it, the hexadecimal or whatever?
I think so, yes.
Maybe that wasn't the actual word, but yeah, they did the base number substitution. So it's not a number, it's a letter. It's a fucking
what letter looks like a number? What letter looks like the number 9?
This one, I couldn't even figure this one out. I was like, wait, what? Because for me, Q's always have the little pointy tail.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's very obvious.
And if you've been paying attention in your hexadecimal lessons, what does Q stand for? No one has the answer? That's okay.
Bueller, I've turned my brain off. No one told me there would be math in my playthroughs.
Well,
I was just told to come here and talk about time travel.
Too bad. Now you have to suffer. And just for the record, it's 26. Higher than 25, which is better than 24.
Funniest SpongeBob meme, 2017. That's kind of funny that they still have to find the dead on the other side. Because all the other games, it's usually just, once you're out of the door, you're pretty much good.
Yeah, but like, they had already dealt with the biggest threat. I mean, sure, there's still the bomb in their gut, but at least now they've escaped not being burnt to death.
You know, it's out of the fire and into more fire. It's just fire. Everything's on fire.
Yep, and now all communication with Akane is cut off. Or is it?
I mean, I kind of thought that I thought it may have been the case that since she was saved, it's like, all right, she's good. She's off. She's off on her. She jumped essentially the percentage, kind of like in Steins Gate as well. It's a good allegory. It's a good reference for me to use.
And the family's back together.
Hooray! Happy ending.
Happy ending achieved. Oof.
This doesn't happen. This technically happens and does not happen in every ending.
Yes. Well, no. It happens in this ending. Yes, it does. In the other endings, I don't think so. Again, this was the only possible way that Akane could be saved. All the other endings, when Junpei died or got gassed, Akane is gone. Akane is just burnt to death.
Yeah, she never got the answer.
Never.
That's the thing is, that's usually my point of reference here, is that this whole game was currently happening in front of, basically, with Akane standing in front of the screen. All of the endings were simultaneously occurring at that moment from Akane's point of view. But then at this point, like, yeah, I was kind of confused on, oh shoot, as maybe this wasn't all from Akane's point of view. Maybe I actually am Junpei, or I've been Junpei the whole time. It still keeps it kind of ambiguous who's who, because they always seem to bring the player in, or what's my point of view, or am I just some weird third-party narrator? I'm the ghost of the Titanic.
Yes, indeed. And now we can finally fucking escape. Oh, nice motion blur, guys. Yeah, that was a great place to put that.
No, it's how you show that there's movement when there shouldn't really be that much movement, guys. It's not necessary.
Yeah, you never had to put this motion blur here. Like, I honestly, the art was just enough. I didn't need to see,
Yep.
what was the awful thing?
Poor choice is what this is.
Like when Ace was kicking Snake, I didn't need to see the motion blur there. I could pretty much tell he was kicking the shit out of Snake. And I didn't need to know that they were pounding on the door earlier.
Oh yeah, here's where they have the actual explanation for the hexadecimal.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's good that they dropped that little nugget, but that's kind of the cohesive writing of... It's to the credit of this game's cohesive writing, is that nothing, for the most part, gets wasted. Like, everything that's ever pitched to you pays off. All the stories matter, everything is connected, every bit of information given to you was given to you with purpose.
It all matters. It mattered 9 years ago, and it matters now. Base 27. I feel like... Who the hell uses this in real life?
Programmers? NASA scientists? Whoever. If you use it, it's for you. I'm sure it makes the world a lot easier for you. And that's why you have to do it, or you choose to do it, so good on you. I'm a simple man. If I can't count it on my fingers, and if I lose fingers, I'm changing my base number too. So that's why I'm pretty sympathetic to these people. So
yeah. Also appreciate how Clover was helping her dear old brother up the stairs like a nice little sister would. I didn't really appreciate the angle because it was a little obvious what they were doing, but
it could be the reverse. Snake could be helping Clover because we've seen that Snake is basically an American ninja. So
that's funny.
Yeah, whereas she's a frail little girl who can sometimes turn into a psycho killer. See, I was also just so confused because it's like, where is Akane? I thought I saved her. I was waiting for her to like stupid Disney effects sparkle her way back into existence. Like, yay! But no, I think it stays pretty ambiguous at this point. It kind of helped build up the hype for the next game. See, the hype train.
And Ace, of course, escaped on his handy-dandy submarine. Because, yeah, that's pretty much what I think was the purpose for that submarine. But if they were on the ship, what could this possibly mean?
I mean, we're on a ship, right? We saw it. It was flooding.
Yeah,
we were terrified.
Oh.
And yet, it was quite very possible that we were in a training facility out in the middle of the nowhere Nevada desert.
So the submarine in there wasn't going to go anywhere at all.
It just had a swimming pool. Zero is just so clever.
Don't say Zero anymore. Say Akane.
Akane is so darn clever that she... Oh, look, they just all click off. That she needed to recreate that flood so badly. Like, I can understand flooding the rooms to give them the illusion of the ship sinking. I mean, you guys 9 years ago had an actual bomb on a ship, so you didn't really have a ship sinking situation. But, you know, it's at least something that you can control. You can pump water into the training facility and then drain it out, blah, blah, blah. But why keep the submarine there? Is it just for fun? Do you just got a thing for submarines, Akane? Was that your little secret playroom and that's why we were able to find you in the room, even though it made no sense that you had the key card at that moment and shouldn't have been able to pass the door, but it's totally cool now because you're Zero?
So, of course, it makes sense now. But yeah, also turns out that their watches were never linked to any bombs at all because there wasn't any bombs in the first place. It was just empty threats.
Yeah, I mean, they were just hoping to kill the Ninth Man regardless. That was part of the plan, was to make the former pharmaceutical guys, well, since you murder them, I was going to say suffer, but that wasn't the case. The out card was for Ace to admit he was wrong. That's basically a death sentence.
But yeah, credits rolling, but I mean, of course, there's much more to the game than just the credits, because we're not, well, yeah, we're a little more than halfway done with the video, but yeah, I guess we could start laying down a couple thoughts about the game overall. So yeah, this is fucking amazing. Go fucking play it, you dumbass. Why haven't you touched this game yet?
Like, I get that that it has a very slow beginning, and then it has that long part in the middle where you have to replay a bunch of stuff, but that's completely fixed in the new versions. But it's so worth it for this story, this cast of characters, the interaction you get with them, the fun puzzle situations. They're not, like, this is not the most difficult puzzle game of all time. It's not meant to be. It's, you know, to me, I grew up playing Newgrounds Escape the Room games, so I have an affinity. I love them. I love them in a very nostalgic sense, and these are pretty good ones. They tickled my fancy when I first played it. Oh, we're gonna get all these cutscenes.
Yeah.
I don't even remember when we got to the Jumpy Doll part, because that's a whole, like, voodoo possible thing going on with Akane. Yeah. She's a witch, like, witch Akane up confirmed.
Oh, very much so.
And apparently Jumpy Doll is, like, some weird, like, translation thing that they did as well.
But yeah, this is harkening back to the tale of the murdered school pets.
Right? Remember back in the bathroom where Ace had murdered one of his colleagues, and again where Junpei laughed at the temperature in which a human body burns. He's such a good friend. So does that mean Akane, while looking into the past, like, sees that moment and it's like, don't fucking laugh, I'm in an incinerator right now? Like, just kind of gotta wonder, just because you have the Akane kind of there. You have Fuzzy Akane, who I'm still not entirely sure how she's there in the fail timelines. She fails. She blows up. So how is there an Akane to be Zero to make the bad timelines? I'm so...
Yeah, well, again, this is... Yeah, that is a good point. If you think about this very, very hard, it kind of does fall apart because it's a time loop. It's a time paradox. And as we all know, this kind of stuff always falls apart, no matter how well they try to construct it.
You just gotta think of it this way. She just threw this huge gamble that she was gonna find the one situation where these group of people are able to solve the same puzzle she had to solve so she can get the answer so that they can cheat off each other on the test. Yeah, that's what this all was. Akane wanted to cheat off of Junpei's test. A very simple story. I don't know why people try to say that the Zero Escape games are complicated. Yeah, Akane's just a cheater.
And now the Akane that we saved in the past is going to have to do this all over again 9 years later. And then when they save Akane again there, the Akane in that timeline will have to do that again 9 years later. Like, that's what I said. Time loop.
Yeah, she couldn't even be kind to herself. Well, she's always the least kind to herself when it comes to these multiple timeline failures. It's like, well, then come up with plans where you don't have to suffer so much, sweetheart. Girl does not need to be this bad. Like, yeah, you need to. I get you had to save yourself from incineration, and later on you got to save, like, all of humanity. But treat yourself. Think about put yourself first.
Find yourself some god. Go into the church
or
and
get you some D.
Yeah, just
of the J variety.
Put yourself in a confessional for like 10 hours and just explain this entire thing to the priest. I'm sure, even if it doesn't make sense to him, he'll understand your frustration, your just general sinistry. Because, man, she crazy, all right? She's crazy.
Ooh, ain't she?
Very much. And I don't like how the text is bold. The outline of the text is just bolder than it was in the game. This doesn't feel right.
I guess it's to show they're more free, so they're talking in a different tone, maybe? Because they throw italicized text sometime, too. Also, I like name change because it's not necessary. The game's over. Who gives a fuck about our code names?
Yeah, also a big surprise, he did the whole thing just so he could try to see faces.
He just wanted a friend. He wanted to cheat off someone else's test. It's okay, it's a reason, but honestly, it's good enough for me. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
He's still a sympathetic character to an extent. Because, I mean, the disease he has is god
like,
awful.
I feel like if I could understand more of his... Because the problem is that the whole personality for 60-70%, it's not much of a majority, but for the majority of the game, is a fake. So, like, all the things we know about him, and I know that kind of gives his new personality more personality, but I also just feel like all we get from this guy is that he's really, really desperate to see a face, and he's going to do whatever he wants. And it's kind of one-notey. It's like, okay, yeah, and you're crazy? Okay. Because, like, Ace, as the player, had a lot of different things. Like, he was self-sacrificing. He was able to talk to everyone and bring them together. Like, he had these leadership qualities, but how much of that is real? Also, the hella drug addict shit here. Because we still have the loose thread about the Titanic and the possible mummy.
Yeah, and the possible mummy. Well, apparently he couldn't find any, but he found a sweet little plant that he made into a drug, and he sold it to millions and became rich.
It's just an opioid. It's it's a poppy plant.
Yeah, so they call it a for you doll. Yeah. So, but I mean, of course, she calls it a Jumpy doll instead because Jumpy had given it to her. Aww.
Oh, that was it. So voodoo is a for you. There. Okay. Cool. I'm glad I'm on track with the jokes that Junpei is right there. Which
I love this dialogue so much. It's just it's so very much end of 6th grade.
Yeah, and if you haven't looked in too much into the flavor text, I mean, you've seen basically Junpei be pretty there, kind of a dude, and then just this huge accelerated ending, and you see him cracking all these jokes and stuff. And it's like, that's the Junpei in the flavor text, just coming out more pure in his child form.
I love how he starts like the whole tribal chief thing as like a joke, but then he makes it into something incredibly sincere. Like, take this and don't forget me, and I won't forget you. Like,
Aww.
Oh my god.
He's so sincere.
Yeah.
Junpei was at one point in his life an absolute pure boy. And Akane ruined it. Just
fuck her for getting kidnapped and put in the wrong experiment area.
So then let me take that one step next. Kentaro is an absolute prick, and he broke Junpei's light by breaking Akane's light, who then broke Junpei's light a lot of times, and then made him the character he is in the third game.
Yeah, but now we're just he's just trying to think of the same things that we're thinking of. How does this all make sense?
It doesn't.
Yeah, especially with Seven's amnesia. I'll be honest, I don't think he had it. He didn't.
Are you sure?
He was. I don't know. Like,
I buy that he had amnesia. Heck, I could even buy if there's a kooky morphogenetic reason why he hasn't, because there's not really one. I mean, did Akane and Santa just slip up and like, oops, we hit the cop too hard? It's either that or, well, I guess like he probably could have put up a fight and they had to exert more force, so maybe they did hit him harder to knock him out, or some, because they're never given a reason. Also, there we go. Here's the first of the new characters for the next game. That's not even a spoiler, but, or not even really.
I guess is she nude, like bare ass, totally. I could always never tell.
I always just took it she was lightly dressed from worn,
yeah.
Worn, like not just worn that day, but worn out, worn clothes.
Yeah, but who could that character be? Where could we be going? Are we ever going to see Akane and Santa again? Oh, looks like you're never going to find out. Because that's it. That's the game, guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Virtue's Last Word. Maybe. 5 years from now.
We'll just time travel into existence.
Yeah, we'll tell ourselves 3 years ago to just do Virtue's Last Word instead.